get that under control then? When did that happen? Because if students don't have books, like I'm not an educator, but seriously, if a student doesn't have a book to take home, how do you really expect for them to be successful and get a good quality education? Like those. Mm-hmm.
That was something that when I was a Detroit public school parent, we fought that, and I'll never forget that when my daughter was at Rutherford, and we fought to get the books distributed, and what they tried to do was they gave me the books for my daughter to take home set, and then you had the set that stayed in class, and they put them in a big garbage bag. And they said, Mr. White, could you please not let anybody know that your child is taking the absolutely not. I'm going to let everybody know. And then we start to break that down. But that's only one school. You see what I mean? And some of that is our mindset against each other. And the mindset, if you give them the books, they going to tear them up and
Yes.
and all that. So some of it is not always a resource problem. In some instances, the resources are there. It's a level of trust. It's a level of how we see each other as Black people, how we see the community that we're supposed to serve. Do we really believe that it's a community? So that's an internal mindset problem where you don't want to provide the books. Now, I'll say this. When it really got bad, when Robert Bob came, he gave his friend a no-bid contract, Barbara Bird Bennett, and she gave her company that she worked for, Holden Mifflin, a $40 million no-bid contract. And she pocketed $22,000 on the side. And when we tried to raise those issues, we didn't have the support of the delegations, not just Detroit, but I'm talking about the state legislature, the governor. We did not have support from our civil rights organizations on that fight. We had some support with labor, but for the most part, labor did not support. They did not view it as an issue. And even complaints were filed with the federal government for investigations. They will look the other way. Now, it's important to note that this was under Democratic control. You see what I mean? So it was that Black kids, Black communities, Black Detroit was expendable. And now look where we are today. So some of it, you have to look at us and how we see each other. And until we start to see each other better, then we're going to have this, we already know, look where we're at. So that was one of the spiel that I had a personal experience with the books. We were going from school to school, educating the community on how to get those books taken home. And Dr. Nancy Bonner at that time, she was making sure that
I forgot
the
about her.
books were coming on.
But listen, Chris, I guess what I'm saying, where I'm going with this is, I wonder, do these actions, these bad actors, do they show up more prominently in the Detroit school system because they think that parents don't care? I believe that there probably was a point in time when parents can send their kids to school, and the only time you had to go up there was if your kid was acting up and you knew your kid was going to get a quality education and you could send them down the street. That's a big difference to what I see. The reason why you have parents who are lining up to get their kids in schools like Bates and some of these other schools like Renaissance, because there are not that many schools left in a Detroit public school where you think that your child will have an advantage and will receive a competitive education, which is really important. And sometimes I do wonder if that's because they look at the parents and see the lack of interest. Now, there are a lot of parents, I'm not saying all at all. There are a lot of parents who are diligent in their efforts to make sure they go on a PTA, they up in the classroom. If their kid acting up, thinking that they're going to disrupt their education or the other school's education, they going to call them out the classroom. I mean, there are those parents. I wonder if because we have changed as a society,
Yes.
with even parenting. Has the system been able to take advantage of that?
I think that you have to take a look at the suburbanization of the workforce, teachers, administrators, and I think you have to take a look at suburbanization of the parents. As you know, like I said, my son, is in Southfield Public Schools. And the thing is, when you go to a Southfield, or you drive to a Birmingham, or Rose, or you go to a Farmington, North Farmington, man, you're going to Detroit.
Yeah.
That's where you're
Yeah.
going to Detroit. And these are some of the people who I grew up and struggled with. And these are people who were involved in Paul Robeson Academy and all that. Their kids and in the suburbs. So we suffer from what's happening is that you have a lot of parents and you have a lot of guardians that are trying to survive. Just trying to keep the roof over their head. And the ones that have accomplished a little something, notice I say a little because it can always be taken away, a little something have left. And then in addition to that, the age, a lot of these grandparents are
Yeah, raising their
kids.
children. Yeah,
And
their
then
grandkids. That's
I
true.
think the difference was, when I was there as a student, you had a lot of families that were still in the city. You still had access to public goods and jobs and all that. But suburbanization from not only the staff, but an administration, but suburbanization from us as parents have had a negative impact on the school district because, that fight that we have, it leaves when we leave.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
true.
when you go to suburban school districts, you have some of the teachers that live in the same city that their school is located at. My first 6 years at Detroit Public Schools as a student, every teacher that I had lived within the same mile radius that I lived in. When I was at Claire Barton, all the teachers and the noon aides and everyone lived. Now I was a kid, but I didn't notice that was black political power at that young age in elementary school because to me it was just a community. You saw your teacher at the market, and you were supposed to see your teacher at the market because they were your teacher. By the time I got in the 6th grade in the 80s, teachers were bragging about how they had left and were moving. And you could start to track art of decline to when you leave, because when you leave, you change over a period of time. Now, we fight hard for the district, but, it's still not enough because it's not enough others doing it. It's almost as if you're proud to say that, my kid don't go there. Man,
They are. There is a
schools.
sense of pride. There is a sense of pride when you hear people say that. And you also see there's this tone and this attitude that you look down on those who send their children to Detroit public schools, unless they go to Cass, of course, because that's a big thing around here.
Right.
But we care nothing else about not we, but some care nothing else about these students who are still here. They don't have any other options. And even if you send your kids someplace else, you still got a duty and responsibility if you from here to help us make this environment better. But we do have a caller on the line. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chris. This Tia. How are you?
Good morning.
Okay, I'm listening, and I can go on for hours about the subject. But I'm gonna say this: when you spoke on the parents, I came in a time right along with Chris when I was a young parent coming through there. I'm gonna say this: 85% of the knowledge that I got has been through Detroit Public Schools as far as being a parent representative. I'm going to put it like that. I was able to sit on the Committee of Practitioners for Title I funding in Lansing. Not because they wanted us there, but more so the government required for them to put us there. So I was able to sit at that level. As far as a parent, some parents are engaged, but you wouldn't believe how political it is just being a parent in DPS.
Right.
You wouldn't believe just sitting back and watching things happen and unfold. And I sat on that $500 million bond that Robert Bob put in place, because that's where I'm put it. He put it in place. They rolled it out. They made it real pretty. We painted blue doors, and nothing happened. The community which I came from, we have. If you're talking about books, and I have found this out, it's not that DPS kids didn't have any books. It's where they stored the books. When the books came in the summer, perfect example, my kids were at Cooley. Teachers had been looking for English books all summer, never found them. Came down, the kids didn't have any books. Just so happened, I go in the back to the dock to get something, have it delivered for a parent meeting, and all the books were sitting right there on the back of the dock. Nobody took the time to go look and see where these books could possibly be. Because here's the thing, somebody's signed for them, but it's in the summertime, so nobody's paying attention. So they store stuff anywhere. And we found that out when they started clearing out the schools. You found a lot of stuff over there in Mount Elliott that your kids could use. They had people going up there picking up everything because people actually had the materials. They just hid them. They didn't know where it was at because nobody was cleaning up. They got rid of the janitors.
But hold on, T. This is what I want. But let me ask you this. Now, when I went to school, I couldn't come home and not have any books. Like that's the.
Let's go there.
Yeah.
Okay, so fast forward when he was talking about Barbara Bird Bennett and that contract. What also happened with that $500 million, they supposed to bought netbooks. So every kid in DPS from 6th grade up was supposed to have a netbook to take home, right? So they bought the license for this program. However, that didn't happen properly.
Well, where did the money go?
Hold on. They bought the netbooks, but the netbooks sat for like 2 years before the kids could even use them. Because now they said, okay, we got to put alarms on. Then, in addition, if you want to talk about it, Wayne County RESA got the contract to make sure that the schools were up to par as far as internet concerned, Wi-Fi, so they'd be accessible. They screwed that contract up because some of the schools couldn't be wired because they were historical and they had to be a whole lot of stuff. Now all of a sudden they don't have no money for it. So you talk about an academic component. Let me tell you, that $500 million had an academic component. Parents, teachers, administrators, they paid $50,000 a day for us to go to the Doubletree in Dearborn on Ford Road in Southfield for educator, parents, and communities to make plans for these schools that they supposed to been built and to only get slashed in the face. I asked Roy Roberts, where's the academic money for these programs since y'all switching stuff around? Don't ask me about that. But I'm sitting next to a community advocate who's been here 30 years. She say, Tia, calm down. No. What do you mean, calm down? You had Wendell Anthony. You had Tony Stewart. You had Mike Aaron. You had Sam Logan.
Some of the same bad actors.
You had all these people sitting at the table. Knew it was wrong. I understand what you're saying, baby, off guard. But standing up to their face, they won't do it.
That part. That part right there.
On the bus, Chris and my line, they had parents getting on us. They had John from Warbridge, the CEO of Warbridge, riding on the bus with us talking about, yeah, I see the conditions. You see them every day.
Right, you created them.
Right.
Exactly. And then for you to tell us, okay, what we gonna do? No, we got to do a promotion. They did McKenzie. McKenzie was supposed to be another high school at first. Then they changed it through a K through 8. They said, we're going to get rid of the parent portion. You want to know what? We're going to get rid of the parent group that I was over for the simple fact we control the money. But my thing was they tried to put parents against parents. And my thing is, I don't care if you had an LSCO, a PTA, whatever you want to call your parent group, because at the end of the day, you was a parent of a participating Title I student because they made the whole district Title I. This district has been ran off of grant money for a damn near 2 centuries. They don't want us to get better. Because if you get better, then you can't get federal funding. If they raise the expectations.
Hold on 1 second, T. What are you saying, Chris?
And with that political consciousness, you would train the next group of conscious political activists and leadership and registered voters to run the Duggins and the Craigs and the Gilberts and these people and these board members out of town.
Oh, well, they not going to do that. They not going to do that. They don't want us to have a bench and a pipeline of leadership. Oh, no.
Y'all want to know why they don't do
that? That's their kryptonite.
No, you know why they don't run them out? Because they're going behind the closed doors talking to them. I'm just going to keep it for what it is. I've seen more advocates walk behind the back door not seeing that I'm sitting there than the law allowed talking about we trying to work it, we negotiate. But at the end of the day, y'all come out with nothing.
No, they come out with something. It's just for them.
Moms, they ain't come out nothing for these kids or the people.
I know, just for themselves.
These parents don't realize you got to listen. You got parents signing off on budgets that's worth $1 million and have no clue what's in that budget. I used to tell parents, you can't tell me what's in your Title I budget and you signed off on it, I'm suing you. Then everybody started quitting. You can't tell people that. Why not? You don't sign on your name. You sign a grade, give some money away, and then you don't know about the programs in your school. You call yourself a parent representative. It's a problem. $25 feed me, sending me on my way is not educating a parent, and they have Title I funds for parent involvement to make sure that happens. But you know what you'll get? You'll get somebody say, hey, they black, they come to you, say, okay, we want you to help us, especially in the black male situation. I'm going to put that. You got a lot of parents who use Title I funding for black male initiatives to help parents educate their sons because we was losing so much of our sons to the system.
Yes.
You supposed to know the system, so you come educate the parents, but they come out on a Saturday, they buy your books, they ain't seen you no more. What did y'all get out of it? Well, he came and dropped off the books, but we didn't have no workshop on Saturday. Oh, I had to run somewhere else. But you took $10,000 of the parent involvement money. And you didn't give these parents nothing. I ask parents, I say, hey, do a needs assessment. They got a needs assessment, but you do a needs assessment to see what you need in your school. What do parents need help with helping their kids with? Now they got this shit you get on, oh, excuse me, I ain't supposed to cuss. You get online, oh, we helping you. The format has changed, so you got grandparents who might have the right answer, but if they didn't format it right, it's wrong.
Well, I also think they take advantage of the lack of knowledge, our ignorance to how this whole system operates. I might want the best for my child. I might be willing to go to PTA. But if I don't understand how the system works, if I don't understand how the dollars are being used, if I don't even know how much is even allocated for that budget, then I really don't understand how my child is being disenfranchised, how there's a concerted effort to ensure that my child does not get a quality education. See, I always say this stuff does not happen by osmosis. It's intentional, it's planned out, and then the plan is executed. But if you have to know something is wrong as a parent.
I agree with you to a certain point. Half of these educators, they probably grandparents now. Their parents might not have had but a 3rd or 4th grade education. But one thing for sure, 2 things for certain, you were going to school and got yours.
Yes.
This mentality, I got, man, you could get yours, all that, that's broke because parents didn't play that. Grandma didn't play that. I don't care if she couldn't read it. You was going to school and if you had an F on it, you're going to go back to that school so that teacher can show you how to do it.
Okay,
don't give me you got people with PhDs that parents work in the cotton fields. Don't give me that. I don't want
hold on 1 second, Tia. Go ahead, Chris.
I want you to understand, the listening audience, when you're listening to Tia and you're listening to me, this is how we did things down there. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when she says the part about our parents weren't going to have it and different, and not only, and to add to that, like I said, the first 6 years, my teachers lived in the same, and the noon hour aides, and the parents, we lived in the same community.
Oh, so your mama can go to your teacher's house. Oh, okay.
Listen, your neighbor can go. The neighbor can say they seen the teacher at the grocery store and they said you was acting up, you was getting your behind whooped.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And parents, because my kids went to school where I lived in the community, so I seen them kids probably more than their parents did.
But hold on, Tia. I disagree. Cause now a lot of time nowadays it's this new style of parenting. Like if your kid using a cell phone in a classroom and they know that they not supposed to, or you call and you say that the teacher tells the student, you know what, you're not gonna be able to go on this field trip. The parents want to come up there and fight the teachers. My mama wasn't. Listen, the teacher was always right unless they really did something to me. You talk about somebody acting up, you pulling out. Well, we didn't have cell phones then for no kids, but let me come talking about I'm gonna take something to school and be playing with a toy or something right in the middle of the classroom and I'm supposed to be paying attention. Man, no way in the world my mama would side with me. She wasn't having it.
You know what? I used to tell parents this all the time, especially parents my age and younger. They used to come up there, yeah, I'm going to do this to the teacher, I'm going to do that. First of all, let me ask you something. And this is exactly what I used to say. Why she just picked you to call? Right. She got 30 kids, 35, because they done put extra over her contract in here. And she just going to take time out to call about your kid, huh? Help me understand. And normally when I talk to a parent like that, they understand. I mean, well, she didn't have to. Wait a minute. So let me ask you something. So if you tell your son to sit down and he keep jumping up, what are you going to do? She can't put her hands on him.
There lies the problem.
What is she supposed to do? Then you got a kid tell you, call my mama, she gonna cuss your ass out anyway. What?
As opposed to when it used to be, please don't call my mama. Okay, please don't call my mama. You would beg for them not to call you. I know. I ain't want nobody calling my mama to get her off of work. It was not gonna end well.
Hey, I swear to you, no lie. This how I got involved. My sons used to get in trouble. I gotta leave work, and I'm taking care of all 8 plus 2. I got to leave work to go see what you're doing. I'm in a situation. I'm the care representative, but I got to go back to Henry Ford because my son got it tore up from the floor up because somebody trying to jump them. Didn't know they was brothers. I had to turn back around and go back. But let me tell you something. When mine was wrong, just because I was a parent rep, you wrong. Let me get cool with a janitor. Classes exchanges, I'm taking you in the damn janitor's room, turning on his radio, tearing your ass.
Okay, Tia. But that bathroom was a room to straighten some kids out back in the day. That was the place of refuge.
And teachers will walk away. They didn't see nothing, say nothing. I love y'all to death.
I know, but not everybody's so conscious.
At the end of the day, the teacher wouldn't have called me if she didn't care. And that's what we have to realize.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tia. I appreciate you.
You picked the bone about, I'm sitting up here itching like, oh my God, no, she didn't say yes.
I appreciate you, Carla. You have a great day.
And I remember all those good fights. And the thing is that we did win a lot of battles. We did win, but it's constant pushback. And one of the saddest moments was knowing that you had fought hard for a black president. And when President Obama and Arnie Duncan came here and did the Ground Zero, Detroit is Ground Zero, and actually were conspiring with the Skillman Foundation and others to create what you have now. See, what you have now is what the white and corporate interests want. You have several different school districts within the city of Detroit, mostly charter schools.
So when they divide, they conquer. Okay, that's one thing. All right.
Now you have a white person on the Detroit Public Schools district, community district. You change the name of it.
Right. He's not even from here, so he's not rooted in the community. He doesn't even understand the real challenges that are in place. Okay, that's 2. I'm going to go with that. What's another one?
You change the names of the schools and everything.
So you stripped us of our history. That's what people need to understand about all of this changing of the names. When your grandmother, your mother, and then you can all know the same name and have your own experiences, it's something to be said about that. That's why, see, black folks are always letting somebody come strip them of their history. I know we talking about schools, but it's intentional when they do that, when they start changing these names. I agree with you on that, Chris. 100%.
You have the super PAC, the change in the Supreme Court, the super PAC
Yes.
law, which makes it a difficult challenge where the corporations can finance
That's right.
money and things through schools.
So when you letting outsiders come in here and have control over the quality of life is really what you're doing when you allow these corporations to have control over the quality of education for your child. Meanwhile, they wouldn't even let their kid run around any of these Detroit public schools, let alone attend one. Okay, it's something to be said about that. I agree with you. I think that but what I hope that people get out of this conversation today is that we definitely have some work to do. I know I'm always bringing up all of these issues that we are enduring in the city of Detroit, but I would like to find some solutions. I just don't want our students, our children, to be overlooked because they're already at a disadvantage because of this system that's in place and because of an intentional plan to ensure that our students won't have the best quality of education. School is important, especially during those early years. It disciplines your child. It gets them in a frame of mind where they understand the importance of an education. And now what we have here are it's just so few of us who want to fight for better for our students. But I'm going to be honest with you. A reason why a lot of Detroiters send their children to schools outside of Detroit public school system is because they don't have the time for people to figure it out. And you know what? They may be willing to be a part of a PTA and to challenge the system to make sure that the curriculum is strong and that the curriculum is competitive. If your kid in the 5th grade, you don't want them to be at a 3rd grade learning level. You just don't. And you don't have the time for it. So what I hope that happens after today, some more conversations are had, but conversations that are intentional about identifying some solutions and then taking action to execute that plan to make sure we do better by our children. They deserve better. Nobody's coming to save us, so they surely not coming to save our children. But you know what they will do, Chris? They'll take advantage of the vulnerabilities that our children are faced with on a day-to-day basis. Any last words before we go?
I want us to understand the importance of the school district. I want us to understand that the school district, there are still efforts going on today to criminalize our students. We'll talk about that next time you want me to talk about it with the textbooks and computers. I shared that information with you. But it's very important that we understand that the future of our city lies within our ability to not only educate our kids, but control their destiny. And when we stop making that the main priority, then we have what we have now.
Thank you so much, Chris White, for being a guest today. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to me. Make sure that you share this show on Facebook. Also, you can go to the Nicole Small Show. Make sure that you like the page, you subscribe on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. And then tomorrow, we will be right back here at 7 a.m. We're going to talk about these nonprofit and these grant dollars that are coming to the city. And how are they really being used? Are they being used to help to improve the quality of life for Detroiters? Or are they just being used to make sure that we have more downtown redevelopment? We'll see you here tomorrow at 7 a.m. Be safe and have a great day.